Hello there, my very good friends. On this wrestling news video, is Andrade unhappy in WWE?
We've got an update for you on the Bloodline. That's right, it's the Hiku latest.
Hey, you've got an update on Roxanne, Perez and her status.
And when will Aleister Black return to the WWE? I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm Andy Murray.
This is the After News.
Ooh, okay, we're going to start this one by talking about Andrade. What's he doing? What's this guy up to on Twitter, right? Over the weekend, he posted a little image of himself sitting there with the word waiting. There's an exclamation mark. Now, of course.
Waiting!
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like, what? What's he, is he waiting for the bus? I have no idea. Waiting for a train that never comes. Waiting for a push in WWE, perhaps.
Maybe to order some food.
That would probably, well.
I hate that when you just wait. Come on.
Yeah, hurry up. Why has it been
McDonald's.
half an hour? Yeah, come on, Ronald, you piece of trash. But yes, this is a geezer who has only won one match in 6 months, by the way.
Wow.
He's featured he's had 4 matches this year. He beat The Miz. He had a match with Shinsuke Nakamura. He had a match with Jacob Fatu the other week, and he was in the Royal Rumble. So he's only had 4 matches this year. He won one of those. That's his one win in 6 months. This is a guy who obviously left AEW because he was unhappy. He returned last year. He was being used just semi-regularly, pretty regularly, and the feud with Carmelo Hayes was his most notable thing.
Yeah, I love that match at Series of 7, yeah.
On SmackDown, but it's also a guy who has a history of wanting more for himself.
Yeah.
And look, I can't hate someone for that. Well, he left WWE because he was barely being used. He left AEW presumably because he didn't like how he was being used there.
Yeah.
Now he's on Twitter being ambiguous and everything else. Look, it might be nothing. It might be nothing, but sometimes you see a little smoke in the distance. You go looking for a fire.
Yeah, especially like you say, the history that he's got in terms of understandably being frustrated with his position. Look at him; he's an incredible athlete.
He's in dastardly shape.
Unbelievable, and yeah, it's a surprise they haven't done more with him. Like you think of the amount of people that they've either brought back in or brought from AEW. He sort of fits both categories there, and then done great things for almost as a thing to put themselves in the shop window for anyone who wants to leave AEW or any other company and come to WWE. And they had that series with Melo. I really, really enjoyed it. I was singing its praises regularly on the SmackDown Review podcast, wherever you get your podcast from. And now, yeah, nothing. Like, the latest we've got is he's getting in Umberto's ear, trying to kind of pry him away. It's something, I suppose, but not really anything.
Around with his hands like
Indeed.
This,
I don't really know what's going on with him, or why they haven't utilised him more, because, you know, he's got a great history in NXT. Clearly, Triple H was a fan of his back then. And now, I don't know whether the guys booking it have got distracted, whether it be other people that they're just focusing on. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. Whether just because it's WrestleMania and he isn't really factored into plans, like we'll just keep him on the back burner for maybe something post WrestleMania. You know, there was talk a while back online, not necessarily reported by anyone, but like they're like, oh, Zelina Vega, maybe they could go back and do something with her again. But no, she's off, challenging Chelsea Green seemingly next for the US title. Nothing's happening for him. So maybe it's not necessarily he's going to, flip out and leave the company or chin someone backstage or something. He could just be like, just a warning, like, I'm not best pleased with how you're booking me. I'm sure he'll have brought that up within WWE as well.
Yeah.
Look, he's gone through a lot, obviously, over the past 12 months. His relationship with Charlotte Flair's unfortunately ended. So obviously, he presumably wants to throw himself into his work. And yeah, there's nothing really happening for him. And he's someone who's just so talented, it's a surprise.
Especially because SmackDown is now a 3-hour show.
Yes.
You'd think that there'd be, more room for a guy like Andrade, who's a fantastic bell-to-bell wrestler. And obviously has like a decade of history in WWE, or the best part thereof. From his time in NXT, his initial main roster run, obviously he left for a few years and came back. Yeah, it's a weird. I don't get it. I don't understand why they don't use him belt to belt more often. He's very good. Certainly, look, I like Shinsuke Nakamura as much as the next guy, but think of the TV time that guy's had, right? And then you compare their in ring. I mean, that to me seems like a pretty simple.
He could at least have had a few title matches or something.
Yeah.
On the, I know he's done stuff with Shinsuke, but it was a blip, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, exactly. Why you could have used him in that US title
Absolutely.
role, for example.
If you're just going to hot potato it back to LA Knight,
I mean, Nakamura, you're realistically talking about a guy who peaked in his first WWE match, and that was an incredible match.
Yeah.
It's not to say he hasn't had good ones since then, but Andrade's as the kids say, he's a demon. That's what they say these days, isn't it? On Twitter.
Let's hope.
My demon.
They have big plans for him, something post WrestleMania maybe, and that's the only reason. Maybe it could just be a tease for that, I suppose. It could just be like, wait and see. I don't know what happens. Once we've got WrestleMania out of the way, there's going to be something big.
Draft,
yeah. There's going to be
something
big coming the way, which I'll talk about in a bit with regards to post-WrestleMania WWE. But a shame. He has probably one of my favourite non-finishers in wrestling, which is that wicked spinning back elbow that he does.
Yeah.
Like, he does that, and I'm like, why does anyone bother with the Judas effect?
Yeah,
like,
why does the Judas effect even exist anymore? Yeah.
He hits that, and I'm like, well, his opponent's dead. No need to finish. No need to conclude this match anymore.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just it's a transitional move. It's
if I was his opponent, I'd just eat the kick that he initially goes for, because it seems like it'd be less impactful.
I go, Tim, give me that, baby.
Oh,
Don't hit me with the elbow.
But yeah, best of luck to him. Hopefully he'll hear some good news with regards to Andrade very soon.
And like you mentioned earlier, this is a guy who reportedly got himself into a fight with Sammy Guevara to, so he's not a shy guy, Andrade. So I'm sure we'll hear more of this. I'm sure he'll be on Twitter in about 6 hours going, "No, I'm not leaving, idiots. I'm fine."
I do remember when he was either in the process or rumored to be in the process of leaving WWE or just left, and he posted that photo on social media of him with like an open shirt on, and I was like, well, every company in the world wants to sign him. Look at him. Yeah. He looks incredible. So I do hope things change for him very soon. Speaking of things changing, what's going on with the Bloodline? Because loads of speculations happened for a long time now with regards to Hikuleo.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of speculation of whether he was going to be brought in as a part of the developing story with the Bloodline, and people are coming in and going out, or going in their separate directions. With Roman Reigns seemingly off doing his own thing, Jimmy, etc. Solo, Jimmy Fatu. That's his brother.
Jimmy Fatu.
That's the new tag team, Jimmy Uso and Jacob Fatu.
Let's go.
But Fightful Select previously reported, back in 2024 in fact, that Hikuleo and Lance Anoa'i had been signed to WWE deals. But then nothing happened. It all went a bit quiet. Hikuleo hasn't wrestled since June of 2024, losing the IWGP Tag Team titles. But Fightful has sort of followed up on this story. They've been told that Hikuleo has been on the internal WWE roster for months. With regards to main roster creative, though, they were made aware that he was signed, but he wasn't factored into creative plans just yet. He's still listed in the company internally. He still feels like someone who is eventually going to be brought into this Bloodline story, because look at the size of him.
Big boy.
If you're suddenly like, Jacob Fatu's got off his leash and we can't control him anymore.
Yeah.
He's someone you might bring in to level the playing field. It won't work. It's Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
But it's all gone a bit quiet, hasn't it?
Yeah. He's very tall.
Yes.
I love that little rumor that they were going to call him Tolatunga.
I love that, yeah.
I mean, that's probably nonsense. It's probably not true, but it's very funny.
Yes.
At the same time, he's been inactive now for ages, months and months. Maybe he's just training at the PC, chilling, doing some bits and pieces. Seems inevitable that they'll bring him in. He's obviously related to the Tongans. And he's massive. He's like 6'6" or something. He's a big lad.
He's a big lad.
So he'll be the biggest lad in that group. They're obviously continuing the bloodline even after Solo lost to Ula Fala to Roman Reigns. You'd imagine one day the big thing will be Solo versus Jacob.
Yeah.
And Jacob,
do a Mania for me.
Yeah, Jacob will bulldoze him, probably.
Yeah.
Which he should. I think he should just 2-minute that guy.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Solo Sikoa, but it would be a really effective way to get
Absolutely.
Big Jake over. But yeah, I'm sure we'll see him soon. I'm actually surprised that the injury to Tongaloa didn't maybe accelerate getting Hikuleo up, because obviously he's been out. Maybe you had another guy to the equation. They've chosen not to do that. You got Lance Anoa'i chilling as well. Like, they could probably just add members of the Samoan wrestling dynasty to this thing for like another 20 years.
Every 6 months, someone new gets added.
You see lots of speculation towards Zilla Fatu all the time.
Of course, yeah.
Who's on the Indies right now? So yeah, like, they're gonna do this forever, baby.
Yeah.
There's always gonna be a bloodline now, I think. And look, it's one of the most decorated dynasties in wrestling history. So.
Yeah, he's one of those people, like you say, you're being introduced alongside the Bloodline story, alongside the sort of, like you say, Samoan dynasty, so you don't really need that much of an introduction. And also, you just put him out there and people go, bloody hell, he's massive!
Yeah, he's large. He's
very
tall.
Yeah, maybe even factors into this Solo Jacob thing if they decide to go down that route. They've not got much time before WrestleMania, but I don't know. I want to see it. I really want to see it. I want Jacob Fatu to have a big match at WrestleMania. And they could do Braun Strowman, but it feels like they're burning through that before Mania. maybe with a view to having Jacob kill the man who brought him in, basically, Solo Sikoa.
Yeah, I would end the Braun Strowman thing sooner rather than later too. I think it peaked with the big angle on Saturday night's main event, and then they brought Braun back a week later, and it was like, my God, just sell it for a bit. I know he's a monster. Just sell it for a bit longer, please. And I would maybe move towards that. Maybe you could bring in Hikuleo after.
Yeah, very excited to see that.
Could be, if it's not going to be taller Tonga, it could be smaller Tonga, just for a laugh. Why not?
Just have him stand further away.
Yeah, have him doing the Tom Phillips crunch thing that he used to do when he was doing interviews. Why the hell not?
What a load of bollocks that was.
Speaking of giants, let's talk about Roxanne Perez.
Ooh,
she's very tall.
Cheers.
No due respect. What's going on with her at the moment in WWE? Well, it sounds like she's on her way back to that main roster.
Yes.
So she obviously was in the Royal Rumble for about 5 hours. It was a big shift.
Did both Rumbles, in fact.
She did. Still hasn't been eliminated. Curtis Axel.
Yeah,
it's the first time anyone has ever compared Roxanne Perez and Curtis Axel. So there's a word from Fightful now that despite going back to NXT and wrestling Jordan Grace on Roadblock, not end of the line, last week, she will soon be resuming her main roster program with Bayley. That's going to continue. That is, it's not a linear thing where you're over here, you're only doing this story. She seems to be combining things left, right, and center. So she's been ready for the main roster for ages, a long
2
time.
2 years, probably.
Yeah, probably even longer. Look, she was champion in NXT for a long time. Then realistically, now that she's wrestled Jordan Grace, there's realistically not a whole lot else for her to do. It's a different generation in there. It's Stephanie Vaquer, it's Julia, it's Jordan Grace, it's Zarya, it's
Kalani Jordan's coming through. She looks
Jada
awesome.
Parker. Yeah. Lots of prospects there. Lots of people also that are probably ready to go up as well.
Yeah.
So it's like a rejuvenating, refreshing, revolving door of talent, and she looks to be next up.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear this confirmed. I've been singing Roxanne's praises on NXT for a long, long time now. Like you say, she's been more than ready. She's been one of the best women on there for years now. And it's sort of become a running joke on the podcast of me winding Sidgwick up about asking about whether she's ready to go to the main roster. But yes, this feud with Bayley seemingly was the real way to transition onto there. Like you say, it's more of an open door, isn't it, between main roster and NXT now. It's less surprising when a Chelsea Green, for example, pops down there, or someone like Lash Legend, who's awesome, moves up to the main roster to do a tag title match.
Another great prospect we just didn't mention because there's so many.
It's gone a bit quiet. I was suspecting a month or so ago that they were going to do Roxanne Perez versus Bayley at WrestleMania, because it felt like, well, it's Bayley. You give her she won the title last year.
You have to give Bayley an Egyptian entrance at WrestleMania.
But yeah, maybe a big win over her at WrestleMania could be the rubber stamp to Roxanne Perez moving up to the main roster. Like you say, she's done everything on NXT. She has literally done everything. She's held the title for ages. Yeah. They've tried her as a heel. She works better as a babyface, let's be perfectly honest here.
Especially promo-wise.
And yeah, putting over Jordan Grace last week was kind of the final thing for me of like, right, you've dropped the title to Julia, you've failed in trying to win it back, and now you've put over the person that's probably going to be challenging for the title over WrestleMania weekend. Up you go. Yeah, I'd have her, because Bayley's kind of languishing right now. She's just not really doing anything. She's losing matches, and I'd have Roxanne jump on that and be like, your time's up. It's time for someone new to come up from NXT and take your spot.
Listen, Pamela. Yeah. I'm taking your spot. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I was.
Pro wrestling.
It was very funny to see Roxanne Perez at Wale Mania a few years ago, and just like, it's weird because like she's so mint, and you see her on these big stages, and then she walks past, and you're like, I'm 6'3", so I'm like, oh, it's Roxanne Perez.
Yeah.
Wale Mania, one of the big things on WrestleMania weekend, of course, Andy, as well as this year, our live show. If you want to watch the SmackDown show, if you want to spend thousands of pounds going to that, or the Hall of Fame thing or whatever.
Hey, listen, Tugboat.
Come on.
Tugboat and Lex Luger. I'm kind of tempted.
Maybe I'll get the Hall of Fame on my phone and you can watch it over my shoulder. But regardless, come to our live show, whatculture.com/tickets. We're playing the HyperX Arena on Friday night, April 18th. It's going to be amazing. So we're going to do a SmackDown watch-along. Simon Miller's going to be doing a live SmackDown Ups and Downs, which you can be a part of. Me and Hamflet, probably a little bit pissed, are going to be doing a big WrestleMania preview. All the meet and greets are included as part of your ticket price as well, so do join us for that. And then we're just partying the night before WrestleMania weekend. Who doesn't want to be a part of that? whatculture.com/tickets. And oh, by the way, earlier on, before that, and when I say earlier on, I mean Friday, we're hitting Manchester, followed by Belfast and Glasgow as part of our WhatCulture World Tour. It's going to be amazing. All the good stuff that I've just mentioned there. You can join us for that, whatculture.com/tickets, in partnership, of course, with the best wrestling club night that there is. That is Sweet Chin Disco. In 4 days' time, I'm going to be on a tour bus with Mark Henry. That's the thing, apparently, now. It's going to be amazing. Join us for that and a whole load more dates, in fact, for Sweet Chin Disco. Joe Hendry's going to be a part of some of the shows as well. If you want tickets for that, just head to dice.fm and search for Sweet Chin Disco. You can find all the details there, but it is one hell of a party.
It is. It's a rollicking good time.
Yes.
I hear. I've not actually been to one. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, honestly, it is wild. And adding Mark Henry and Joe Hendry to the lineup, what the hell's going to happen? I don't think Mark's got it in him to hit me with World's Strongest Slam, but we'll find out. Why did I say that? I don't know. I could be
Joe
suffering
Hendry's
from
gonna Jeff Jarrett you for guitar now as well. Gosh.
Oh, God.
You're going to have a terrible weekend, man.
I could be suffering from a broken jaw. Speaking of which, could we give a quick shout out to Mustafa Ali? We mentioned it in the morning news today.
Good grief, what's he up to?
So he finished the match over the weekend.
His jaw got knocked out of place. He popped it back into place, and he finished the match with Mike Santana. And then he worked a bloody TNA TV taping the next day.
Fair play.
Hard.
Shout out to Mustafa Ali.
Hard. Yeah.
Speaking of hard men, though, what's going on with the former Aleister, now also former Malachi, soon to be Aleister again, Black?
Tommy End.
Tommy End, yes. Obviously, loads of speculation since he left AEW that he's going to be heading back to WWE. He was a part of that, releases with Ricky Starks, Ricky Saints, left at around the same time. Miro as well, of course. But Aleister Black, with regards to him popping up in WWE, PW Nexus claim he's expected to make his return to WWE on the first episode of SmackDown following WrestleMania 41. I like this. There's no need. I love Aleister Black, don't get me wrong, but there's no need to add him to the WrestleMania card. And I always like the injection of new things after WrestleMania. Last year was the first time in a long time that they actually nailed the sort of post-WrestleMania shows. We were lucky enough to be at the Raw after WrestleMania. It was actually good. So it looks like that is set to continue with Aleister Black popping up on the SmackDown after WrestleMania. And he's a major disruptor, isn't he, that boy? He's going to kick someone's head off.
They had the tease on SmackDown this week with the number 4.
Yes.
So maybe that's a week countdown, perhaps.
Oh, yeah, I didn't
think
of that.
Does that add up? I don't know if that adds up or not to the SmackDown after Mania. Probably doesn't, now that I've said that, to be honest. It's probably 6 or something. Pardon me, bit of a cough today. I'm feeling a bit froggy today. It's inevitable. It's been inevitable since the moment he left. Maybe even before that. There was always rumors, rumblings, and he wants to go back and all this stuff. He always denied it. He always came out on socials and said, shut up, it's not true. But then this final time when it happened, he said nothing. That was kind of a tell. Yeah. That was kind of a tell. He had 4 fake departures from AEW, didn't he? That time when he was like, thanks very much, everyone. Shake hands. Goodbye. See you later, boys.
Bye. See you next week.
He learned it from Cody Rhodes, to be fair. Remember when Cody left his boots in the ring?
Yes.
That was so weird.
After facing Malachi.
Yeah, Malachi was like, I'm going to do that every week. See you later. But no, I'm a big fan of the guy. Obviously, the now Hounds of Hell have moved on.
Yeah.
Their presentation's a bit different now. They've gone from dark to bright orange because they're on fire and they're from hell. Yeah. And they've got Eyes of the Lord entrance music. It rocks. It's great. But yeah, he'll do good things, I'm sure.
Triple H guy as well, isn't he? He's going to get a big push.
Triple H guy. Look, his wife works there. I'm sure that helps.
Of course.
I'm sure it's not the deciding factor, but it's probably nice, if
you
could
take out the Secret Hervis.
Yeah, well, there he goes. Yeah. I mean, he'll have a job. They're Scottish.
Yes.
Come on. All due respect to the Dutch. I've got a lot of time for the Dutch, but you don't mess with a Scot. It's a smart tactic from Chelsea Green, slowly collecting Scottish people because we are the hardest nation in the world.
So Scott Brown is part of the Secret Hervis next.
Drew McIntyre. Gordon Strachan. Why not? Let's go. Yeah, I'm looking forward to being in Glasgow on Monday, boy. It's going to be good.
Oh, yes.
It's going to be good.
I didn't even think I would be in Glasgow with you.
Oh, I can't wait.
I didn't even factor that in my head.
I can't wait to step off that plane and get that nice lung full of rich Scottish mineral heavy air. Oh, boy. We have to.
Shall I do the accent?
No.
When I'm there. Is that all right? Do you reckon I could? I think I could cheat it. People are like, oh, look, redhead, accent, drinking iron brew.
I'm going to hit you for Claymore if you do that.
Fair enough.
But yes, we have good tap water north of the border as well, which is an alien concept to people down here. So I love living in England. But tap water's garbage. Simple.
I'll try the local delicacy, water.
Yeah. Hey, it's the enriching source of all life. It's not, but you know.
Lovely, love a bit of water. A little thirst quenching in the night. Very nice. But even better when it's in Glasgow.
Or if it's from Dracula.
Oh, God.
Do you like summoning a T-Rex?
That's the noise a war machine makes when you turn it on.
Yeah, we should maybe make a vertical video about that. Might be funny. Anyway.
Probably report it to the appropriate authorities. We've done that already. Anyway,
we told the police.
Let us know your thoughts on everything, including the eel.
The eel.
In the comment section
you
below.
coming on tour, big man? He doesn't speak, he's plastic. Never mind.
Got any cocaine on the tour?
I mean, not for me. Not for me.
No,
not
not
about
me,
that
thanks.
life, but maybe the eel.
If anyone's going to bring it,
yeah,
it's going to be
it's this guy.
Anyway, let us know your thoughts on everything we've discussed in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And if you want to know the latest on Stone Cold Steve Austin being involved at WrestleMania this year.
Look at this video the eel is currently biting.
Go on. Give us a kiss.
Bye.
Bye.